Hello, everybody, and welcome to this edition of the Spartan Sports Report here on TV3. And Ron and I are very happy to have a special guest. And Ron, who is our guest today?
Scott Gray, he's assistant girls basketball coach. Yeah.
Lady Spartans coach.
Lady Spartans varsity assistant.
And they're just about ready to go.
We are. We've been practicing for a couple weeks and had our scrimmage Saturday and open up Thursday against New Palestine.
The New Palestine Dragons, is that what they are?
Yes.
Lady Dragons?
Lady Dragons, yep.
Are they going to be easy to beat this year?
No, they will not be. They'll be a very formidable opponent.
You'll find out a lot what the Spartans are good at in that ball game.
We will. We'll be able to see kind of where we're at. We got a good read. I believe Saturday we played Bishop Chatard in a scrimmage game.
Where was that
and
at?
That was here at Spartan Bowl.
Spartan Bowl,
Spartan Bowl, yeah. And played well at times and had some things we're going to have to work on, but left there. I think we probably lost by a point. We tied them a couple quarters. They beat us the first quarter. We beat them the second quarter. But it was good competition, pretty physical game. But I really liked where we were at and what we did in that game.
Okay.
So,
the scrimmage is not a game. It's more or less explain what the scrimmages are. Yeah,
scrimmage game. You have two different options you could run. One is with 5 quarters, and one of those quarters has to be a JV quarter. Or you could play 4 quarters, and they could be 15 minutes long. The other one is 12 minutes long. So we played what we did. It was option B, which gave us 2 varsity quarters, a JV quarter in the middle, and then 2 varsity quarters at the end. It's running clock. You don't shoot free throws unless you get into the last minute and get fouled. But it gives you a chance to get up and down the floor, see somebody else other than your own teammates every day at practice, and then see kind of what they run. You know, how are we defensively against screening action, and how do we rebound, and how's our offense look, and things like that. So we got a really good read, I think, off that, and we're pretty pleased. I don't know if you know this, but Bishop Chatard has been to the semi-state 3 years in a row.
Oh, wow.
And they are really good program. I think they had like 19 wins last year. So we had a great test, and overall our girls performed well.
That's an Indianapolis team, isn't it?
It is, yes.
Yeah. So Scott, when you're in the scrimmage and you guys work on a lot of substitutions to try to find the right chemistry with the girls?
Yeah, I mean, we have an idea of what our pattern wants to be. But then you have to make adjustments for, kids get in foul trouble, kids get tired, kids get injured, things of that nature. So it gives us a good chance to kind of fine tune what we really want to do, what we want to look at. Big thing is how long can girls go? How long can they play and still keep up the level of intensity that we need? Yeah. Are you a 5-minute player and then you need a break, or can you go a whole quarter and then need a break? So those are some of the things that we look at and we get to find out. And I will tell you, I was extremely happy with the conditioning we were in.
Yeah, 12 minutes. I mean, that's 4 minutes longer than you're playing
normal.
A quarter and a half.
Yep. With
for a quarter.
No real breaks, because like I said, you're not shooting free throws, so you're not getting that time to rest, and it's kind of up and down. And I thought our girls performed extremely well in that setting.
Good.
Tell us about the individual members of the team.
Sure. We have one senior this year. So we're young in that regards. J.C. Wilhelm will be our senior. Juniors, Anaya Bennett, Addison Jones, Serenity Pennington. I'm probably going to miss somebody. Maddie Harrison. Those girls are playing varsity. Kinsey Van Meter, Kendall Bottomley. All those will be like our starting varsity girls in reserves. And then we'll have some girls on the JV that will also come up and spend some time on the varsity. Miley Perry, Taylon Selby, Kylie McHenry. So we're probably deeper this year than we were last year. Last year we had some girls with didn't have any varsity time. This year we were a little bit better in that regards. And like I said, we basically return all of our scoring except for Haley Simbach. I think we lost about 3 girls last year, but 2 were reserves, 1 starter. So we're bringing back 4 starters from last year. So we should be a little bit better than we were last year, hopefully.
What was the record last year?
14-9, I believe we ended up last year. So had a winning record. Couple games we thought maybe got away from us that We should have got. I think our schedule's a little tougher this year. We dropped a couple teams that were maybe in 1A or 2A that we dropped
Yes.
and picked up some better competition, which, and we changed sectionals, so we're not in the same sectional anymore. So we tried to pick up a couple of those opponents, and which will be a little tougher. But again, we're old enough and talented enough that we should be able to perform
Who
at a
will
high
be
level.
in the sectional?
Oh, you put me on the spot now. I know we have Jay County, Newcastle, Delta, Yorktown, obviously Connorsville, and Hamilton Heights. And I don't want to say that's our sectional.
All new faces.
All new faces.
And it's going to be here, if I
It
remember.
is at the Spartan
Yeah,
Bowl this
yeah.
year. Girls section will be at the Spartan Bowl, so hopefully our crowd
That'll
shows
be in
out for
February,
that.
I believe, isn't it?
That should be about the first week of February.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't looked at the exact dates, but it's
Sure.
usually end of January, right into first of February. So, yeah, considering we were playing in the South, you get Greensburg, Batesville,
Right,
Lawrenceburg, those
Yes.
teams, and now we're in the North sectional. So totally different. Totally different.
Should be an exciting season, I think.
I think it will be exciting. Brand new teams to scout now that you're in a new sectional, and
Sure.
so like I said, some new opponents, and putting the team together, and it will be exciting.
What all goes into making a good team?
Oh boy, a lot. Team chemistry.
Okay.
Number one, you have to have good team chemistry, and honestly, we're probably better at that than we were last year. Last year, brand new coaching staff, kids trying to learn what our pet peeves were, and we're learning the kids, and we adjusted pretty quick last year, but our team chemistry wasn't really what we wanted last year. This year, it's a lot better to start out. We had a good summer, and our kids really came together in the summer, and so far that's still holding.
But they have to like each other.
Yeah, I mean, I always talk about, being sisters on the court.
Sure.
You have to be there. You have to stand up for each other. We can't have any selfish kids on the team.
Yes.
And so far, like I said, we've shown that's who we are. I think our assist numbers will be up, and that is indicative of kids liking each other.
Selflessness.
Yeah, when you're selfless, it's a better brand of basketball.
Yes.
It looks a lot prettier. It's a lot cleaner. And right now, I think we have that. And then you got to have tough kids. Last year, after our first Batesville game, we really challenged the kids that, hey, we're just not tough enough. And then all of a sudden, our practices got a lot more physical, a lot more intense, a lot more diving on the floor, rebounding drills, things of that nature. And then we kind of changed who we were. And then we really made a run at the end of the season to get better in that regards.
Yes.
And if we can continue to do those things, I believe we'll be okay.
You talk about the girls get to know each other, but you coaches had to get to know each other as well, didn't you?
Right. So last year it was Shayna, myself, and then Kevin Perry, and then a young lady named Taylor Browning from Rushville that ended up moving about midway through the season. But it was new for us, and we tried to get to know each other as quick as we could.
Yeah.
Luckily, I knew Kevin from being over in Liberty when he was a cop. So I kind of had a relationship with him. Shayna, I really didn't know, but knew about her.
Right.
And it was a pretty quick transition where I felt like we got along really well. This year, we've added Monica Brown to our coaching staff, and again, we meshed really well, and all of us get along well. And it's kind of funny because we end up finishing each other's sentences a lot of times.
Yes.
Monica and I were talking the other day about how much we think alike. Like she'll be thinking something and I'll say it, or I'll think something and she'll say it.
Yeah.
And when you get that kind of cohesiveness in a group, things tend to go a lot easier.
Yeah.
You've been coaching for a long time.
Too long to admit.
Okay. I've been there. I know that.
I think this may be year 25.
Is it?
Wow.
Yeah.
And where all have you coached?
Just Union County and Connorsville.
Okay.
So I spent about 23 years, I think, at Union County, and I coached boys basketball over there as an assistant, girls basketball as the head coach, coached softball for all that time, and now I'm at Connorsville. So, yeah, I've been around the block a couple times.
Where are you originally from?
Union County.
Oh, you okay?
Yeah.
So you're a foreigner, And you're,
Yeah, I am. I'm a foreigner.
So when transitioning to a new school after being there and into a new coaching role, how has it been for you?
Honestly, it's been really good. Like I said, when Shayna and I, when I met her and interviewed with her, it just seemed like it was kind of a meant to be. She comes with her own credits. I mean, she's incredible. Was an incredible basketball player. Yeah. She had been coaching a little bit she had been like a JV coach or an assistant, and then at the middle school level. And she knows basketball. I mean, extremely well. She's a Hall of Famer, an Indiana All-State. I mean, she's got some credentials that you look at and you're like, okay, I want to work with this person. Right. So we got along really well, and we kind of feed off each other. And again, we kind of see the same things. We say the same things. I think we come from that era of when basketball was really, really good at Connorsville. Right. And we understand kind of what that's about. She obviously played in that era.
Sure.
So it was really a seamless transition. And I've worked at Connorsville for about 14 years now at the high school and the middle school. And I knew the kids. They knew me. Not saying they liked me when I first got here, because I coach at a little bit different level than maybe some other people, but
they need that.
But we have a great relationship now. They understand where I'm coming from, and they give me. I feel like they give me their best every time we're out there. So
tell us what a typical practice session is like.
Typical practice session, we do ball handling about every day. We try to get them going up and down the floor. We spend most of our conditioning time with a basketball in our hands. Yeah, there's not many days that we'll take a basketball away and say, hey, we're just going to run today. That never happens, actually. So we put a basketball in our hands and we do a lot of ball handling. Now that we're in season, we do a lot of, hey, here's what we want to run, make sure we're good on our execution, on our sets. And here, probably next week, because we really don't have a chance to scout right now because these teams haven't played yet.
Sure.
But once we get into where we're scouting teams, we'll start game planning a lot more, and we'll work on what we want to do against what the other team does, and then what we want to do against what their defense is. So we'll spend a lot of time with that, but we try to shoot a ton. I mean, we want our kids to be great shooters, a lot of free throws. We just had a free throw-a-thon where you can sponsor each girl and they shoot 100 free throws, and how many they make is basically how much money you donate to the program. And I was proud to say 15 girls shot, and we were at a 71% clip for the whole team.
Oh, very good.
And I thought that was outstanding. We shot 1,500 free throws and made over 1,000. And
that's very good.
It was a lot of fun. That was actually Friday. And it was a lot of fun to watch that.
Yeah. So I hope it translates into the season.
Yeah, I hope so. We did really good last year, and it didn't translate.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm hoping we do a little bit better this year.
Yeah. What was it? Do you remember what the percentage was last year?
I want to say it was like 73% last year. We shot really well last year, too, in our shoot-a-thon there.
Yeah. So.
But hopefully it translates.
You started off with New Palestine. Is that good, or would it be better to have a team that's not quite so strong at the beginning?
It's a good question. If you can beat that team, it turns into a great thing.
Yes.
Last year, we played them at New Pal, and we ended up winning that game like 38-33. And we were really excited, and it was a great start, and we got off to a good start because of that. There are some pitfalls with that, because if you do get beat playing a good team, I mean, you worry about the kids' confidence, obviously.
Yes.
But if you go out and play well, then you can obviously build on that.
Yeah. It's how you get beat sometimes.
Yeah, it is. It is how you get beat if you get beat. Yeah. Preferably, we don't get beat at all.
Right, exactly.
That's the idea. But I think last year, getting that win, now we have some self-confidence that we can beat them.
Yes.
So I think that will be a good thing moving forward. And, we'll throw it up Thursday and see what happens. But I have a good feeling that our kids will come out and perform.
Thursday night, 6 and 7:30 game times is Spartan Bowl with New Palestine. And then come Saturday, you're in a shootout.
Yeah, that is one of the more interesting things I've ever been involved in. Last year, we went to Southport, and we were in that shootout. So, now this year is a little bit different because our JV is going to play. Last year they didn't have JV. This year we will.
Okay.
So the JV plays like at 10 in the morning, and then we play at 12, and then I think we turn right around and play at 2.
Wow.
And then the JV plays at 4.
This is Saturday?
This is all Saturday, and it's at Decatur Central. So, I mean, we're going to get 6 games in between JV and varsity in a matter of 3 days. That's amazing, and so that's why that is one reason you condition, because you play 3 games, and then we don't play. I think we only play 2 more games in the month of November. So we're going to get 3 games in a hurry before really a lot of other people do.
Does this shootout rotate?
It does, and I do believe it's at Connorsville next year.
Okay.
So last year it was at Southport. This year's at Decatur Central. Next year's at Connorsville, and I'm not sure how it will rotate from there.
Round robin?
No, I believe there's 4 teams in it. We don't play Decatur Central this year.
Okay.
So we got Southport, and then we got Franklin Central. That's who we play. That's at 12-2 for the varsity team.
Then you reserve to the regular schedule then following that. As
Yep.
you say, you only have a couple.
Go right back, and I think the next Friday maybe we play at Shenandoah, I believe. So, yeah, I mean, 4 games in your first 2 weeks, and we'll be off and running from there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is volleyball a good training for basketball?
Here's what I think about other sports.
Okay.
I think every kid that is an athlete ought to be able to play 2 or 3 sports.
Okay.
I am a huge advocate. As much as I want those kids in the gym doing basketball, I am a huge advocate for using all the muscles in your body if you're an athlete. I think if you and I've talked to college coaches in the past that will tell you the same thing. If you get too regimented and only doing one sport and only using one set of muscles to do the same thing over and over, it's a detriment to what you want to do. I think volleyball can be good for your footwork. I think it can be good for your jumping ability, some of your timing on getting set and hitting the ball. So yeah, I think it's a good thing. I think we had 3 or 4 girls that played volleyball, but we could have so many more. I mean, our sports teams, our numbers could be so much bigger. I mean, we're a school of 900 to 1,000.
Yes.
And we have 16 girls in the basketball program. We ought to have 25 to 30.
I see.
There are kids that are not playing that I think should be playing, and they only play one sport, and that just does not. It does not make sense to me, because you're not sending that many student athletes to college to play sports. You're just not. I mean, it's a very small percentage of kids that play high school athletics that ever move on to college. So if that's the case, why not play more high school sports?
Right. I enjoy it.
You spend a lot of time, and I've done it, so I'm guilty of this, because my daughter had played travel softball for years. But, my thing would be, why spend, but she also played 2 sports. But why do that? Why spend all that extra money? Why spend all that time away from home? Unless hey, I'm a college athlete. I'm going to play college volleyball or college basketball or whatever that is. I just think you should do more sports to help your school out.
Okay. Tell us about the Union County Patriots.
Do I have to?
Well, I know these girls are working hard, getting ready for the season.
I don't want to sound like a traitor in any way. I love Union County's kids.
Sure.
I coached those kids for a long time.
Well, sure.
They have a group of seniors over there that are special to my heart, my daughter being one of them. They have fantastic ball players, kids. I can name them: Katie McCaslin, Peyton Gilman, Haley Ferris, Hallie Hughes, my daughter, Natalie Long, Nora Robinson. Just great kids in that program.
Yes.
And one of my good friends, Joey Seidel, who I had brought onto my coaching staff there, is the head coach over there, and he's a Connorsville guy.
Yeah.
Love Joey, love what he's doing with his team. He's got a great family, and I honestly expect them to have a fantastic year. Not to put any pressure on you, Joey.
Put pressure on him.
But I expect them to have a fantastic year. They've got really good guard play, and they just had a wonderful scrimmage up at Blue River, and they dominated up there. So I expect them to be good. They have one of the best athletic directors over there that I've ever met, and Ryan Overholt. I think he's fantastic.
Yes.
And I got lucky because I've had 2. I think Andrea is wonderful, and
Oh, no
Ryan
doubt.
I think is wonderful. So I've been blessed to work for two really good ads, and I don't regret my time at Union County at all. I absolutely love it. And then one of my favorite people in the world is now their principal, Randy Judd.
Yeah, Randy Judd. Yeah.
Randy is a fantastic human being.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I missed my time over there, but it was time to move on, and here I am, and I'm enjoying the heck out of this.
Who are some of the opponents for Union County during the season?
Their conference, they have to play teams like Hagerstown, Winchester,
Okay.
Northeastern, who has a great program. Them in Winchester are really good. Tri-High, which has been really good lately. Centerville, they play us
At the bowl.
at the bowl this year. Yeah, so that'll be exciting. But they start off Thursday as well. They have to go down to Milan.
Okay.
So they'll play Milan down there, but South Decatur's on their schedule. At least it used to be. I think it still is. Franklin County, they play Franklin County. Newcastle. So they play some of the same teams that we play.
Yes,
So we
yes.
can get a good read on them and how they look against teams that we play. So
When you talk about, you mentioned earlier about not having any film on Pendleton or New Pal,
Right.
And some of the teams that we're going to be playing together against Union County. It goes back to we only lost Haley as a scorer.
Right.
New Pal can probably see a lot of film from last year because we're pretty much filled in the same team, correct?
they can go back and look at whatever game film they have of ours.
So they have an
and-
advantage basically because
Well, we have some of that. I mean, they were loaded with sophomores last year that
so they have-
are coming
yeah.
back that are going to be playing. So we have film on them that we can go back and look at. And they did have one really, really good player last year, Allie Bloom, that was a senior that's gone. And she kind of did most of their scoring last year. But they're going to have some young kids that are juniors, kind of like our juniors, that are pretty good. And, we'll have to take care of them. They're going to be, like I said, they'll be tough. They run some press, and they're very active and they're very physical. So we'll have to handle the ball well. We'll have to shoot it well, and we can't turn the ball over. That's what kills us.
The one thing that impressed me about our girls last year is that, especially Bennett and Pennington, which I kind of combined them, called them Bennington, because I mean
I'm sure they'll appreciate that.
I mean, I don't know. I would get messed up. But anyway, they're so fast. They're very quick, and I think our speed is something that sometimes goes unnoticed.
Yeah, I told Coach Williams this last year. One of the things that we're really good at is our speed, but the ability to shoot the ball, the ability to finish at the rim with our guards, is especially when we played some of the smaller schools that have good guards. Like their guards didn't realize how fast our guards were,
Right.
and we dominated some games because our guards were just long and quick, and it just surprised some people, I think. So I think that's an advantage every night for us. One thing we did really well in the Bishop Chatard scrimmage game Saturday is we really got out and ran. We got some not trash buckets, but fast break buckets that allowed us to get some easy points.
You got to love that as a coach.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And we didn't get all that last year. We were a little slower pace last year. I think this year we've picked it up a notch, and I'm anxious to see if we can continue the run game.
Finishing around the rim.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
get to the rim and finish, and if you can score in the 50s, maybe even get to 60. I mean, you're going to win a whole lot of ball games
At least
in
you
girls
should.
basketball. Yes.
Yeah, at least you should.
Yeah, unless your defense is just terrible.
Yeah.
Let's hope that doesn't happen.
Yeah. And I just don't see how that could be. I mean, especially with our speed and quickness to be able to close the perimeter, close things down.
Right, and it shouldn't be. I mean, it's things we still have to work on. Our help side defense is a little lax right now that I noticed in the scrimmage. Actually, when I go to practice, that's the first thing we're going to review is film today, just talking about help side defense. And but I think once we get that squared away, and I told the girls Saturday, all correctable. It's all correctable stuff.
That's good.
That's always good.
Once you get that squared away, we'll be hard to handle, I think.
All mental things, the mental things?
Yeah, their effort has been good. So it's a lot of, I forgot I was supposed to be there, or trying to figure out, when the ball goes there, I have to be here. Just things they need to,
Yeah, sure.
try to remember. And we just haven't done enough of it yet. But as we get into it, we'll be better and better.
That mental rest, breaking that off.
Absolutely. But nobody's going to be perfect this early.
Yeah.
So we've
That's
still,
right. What's the middle school program look like at CHS?
Middle school program is coming along. Excited about the 8th grade class right now. I think they've got some kids coming back that we're excited about. Got some girls with some size. A couple girls that I can think of. A guard that I think couple guards actually, pretty athletic that I think we'll be able to use in the upcoming years. I think the 7th grade is pretty decent coming in. That I think we just need numbers. We need more numbers down there, but kind of goes back to what I was saying.
Sure.
We need a lot of kids to play multiple sports, especially as our enrollment has declined. We need girls and guys for that matter to come out and just play multiple sports and not get locked into just one thing.
Now they have a red team and a white team.
No, we don't do that anymore. Our numbers, and I think that's the same with girls and boys, and that's been a nationwide decline.
Okay.
I was reading the other day that high school sports in general have declined, where you're losing a lot of like B teams. There's teams like when I coached at Union County, there's teams in 1A and 2A that can't put a JV team together. They just can't get enough kids.
That's
Well,
sad.
Connersville doesn't have any freshman team anymore, do they?
Right. I think the boys may, but the girls do not.
Yes.
So numbers have been hurting because of that. And again, I think some of that is kids are specializing. They're going to one sport, and if that sport's not basketball, you struggle. So
In Indiana, that's right.
yeah, that's exactly right.
It could, because it seems like there's the play for people want to try the other sports as well. Do you think that could be a part of it as well?
Well, it is. Basketball's hard.
Right.
Basketball is extremely hard. It's a long season. When you're talking about starting, conditioning in September and you don't quit till February,
Right,
and then you pick up in the spring and you're doing stuff, and then you go right into June, and then you get a couple months off. So a lot of kids nowadays, they'll find something else to do that maybe is a little bit easier. But you hope that they fall in love with basketball at an early age, and your numbers build. But that hasn't always been the case.
Well, especially if you're playing like football, you don't have a break to
Right.
go from, or girls tennis, or what is it, girls tennis? That's just whatever girls sport is that leads up into basketball. You would have no transition.
Well, that's the bad part about what the IHSAA done to volleyball. Volleyball now, the week of sectional, like if you get beat in sectional on say Saturday, like our girls did, basketball practice is that Monday.
Yes.
You have no break.
Wow.
You get one day of a break and then right into basketball. Now, in my opinion, that's totally unfair to kids. It used to be where they would get a week or so,
Right.
but that's not the case anymore. So they literally get possibly one day or 3 or 4 days break and then right into basketball, and that's not the way it should be.
No,
So.
not at all. And as a coach, it's hard to say, well, I'll take a week off, because then it ruins the dynamic of the whole team.
Well, and the fact that you have to have 8 practices in before you can play.
Right.
So we've got to get.
Well, I'm
kids
saying
in
with
there.
the kid taking a week off.
Oh yeah, it's tough. It's tough to give them that.
Yeah.
You really have to be dedicated, don't you?
You do. You do. From a coaching staff to
Yes.
players, you've got to have a level of dedication that some kids don't have at that early age.
Yeah.
They don't really get what dedication means at that point in time. Some do, but it's tough. I'd like to have more girls that are dedicated, but again, I want to be able to share our
And you
our
have
athletes.
to to keep your grades up.
Yes, academics number one. Gotta take care of your grades. Luckily for us, we haven't had any issue with that, which is a blessing.
Yeah.
But you gotta keep your grades up and then worry about the athletics after that.
Right. Lady Spartan basketball at Spartan Bowl this Thursday with New Palestine. Hope everybody shows up, and thanks a million for taking time from coach or the practice sessions to join us. We would appreciate it.
Thank you guys. I appreciate the time.
Thank you.
Thanks everybody for watching this edition of the Spartan Sports Report here on TV3. Hope you have a nice evening.